Hey everyone, back for another battle report here. My Tyranids are taking on the Salamanders. They're just on their way, but I figured I'm going to just talk through the Tyranid list, being that this is a new Tyranid match. I know the Codex is officially dropping this coming Saturday, so extremely excited to pick up my physical copy and the Parasite and Vortex. I grabbed that, and so many new things to try out. So tonight we are using a Tervigon build, so I'm very eager to give that a run, see how it plays out. Should be a lot of fun. It's switching up from the Maleceptor and Tyrants they've been running. We know they're really good, but I want to just try this out and see how it plays. And I got a few other little tricky things that we're going to find out what happens with them. So my HQ slot, we have a Tervigon who has the Mawclaws. The Tervigon has Psychic Scream. And then we have the Neurothrope, who is my Warlord with Synaptic Tendrils. He also has Neuroparasite and Catalyst for his powers. Then we have a Tyranid Prime, who has double bone swords and a Venom cannon, so proxying him as so much magnetization and upgrades need to be done for the whole army to get up in line with the new stuff. So we got 9 warriors, 3 Venom cannons, Adrenal Glands, Flesh Hooks, and Deathspitters and dual Boneswords. 27 Termagants are going all in here. Gonna just play with it. Should be fun. We got 10 Gargoyles as well. Then into my elite slot, we have 3 Zoanthropes, 3 Venomthropes, and my little warrior he's proxying as Death Leaper. I actually have a Lictor / Death Leaper model, picking it up actually tomorrow. So we get that painted up and start chipping away at the proxying back to using everything proper. Then we get a Harpy who has the Synaptic upgrade. I can't remember the full name of it, but he is Synapse, so paid that. Then we have a Rupture Cannon Tyrannofex who has Voracious Ammunition. Then we have a Exocrine. I believe I put Dermic Symbiosis, I'll have to double check on him. And then we have 3 Biovores because Spore Mines is fun for me. And that is the list. So 2,000 points here of Tyranids going for bodies, going for the strong mid-table presence. It's going to be interesting to see if the Tervigon can get shaken off the center there. I'm very excited to play this one out. Let's jump in and have a look at the Salamanders. Very quickly, did forget one thing. The Neurothrope actually has the Gestation sack, so I paid 1 CP for that, and I also paid another CP to give the Tervigon perfectly adapted, so getting a reroll, a crucial saving throw, wound roll, hit roll, whatever comes my way for that. So just want to quickly mention those extra things there. So starting with 10 CP.
All right, everybody, we got 2,000 points of Salamanders. Actually, it's 1,995 points. But starting out my HQs, I have Gyaravis Captain with the Burning Blade Relic. I have the Librarian with Reliquary of Gathalamore, so I spent an extra CP to get the extra relic. I have a Lieutenant with the Chainsword and Mastercrafted Bolt Gun. Vindicare Assassin. I got a 10-man squad of Intercessors with auto bolt rifles, 5-man squad with auto bolt rifles, 5-man assault squad, and I got a 10-man infiltrator squad, 3-man squad of flamestorm aggressors, 3-man eradicators, and 3-man eliminators, and they have the Lasfusel rifles, 5-man devastator squad, 2 las cannons, 2 missile launchers, and then the sergeant just has a storm bolter, and they do have an armor cherub, which I don't really have a model for, but we'll pretend. And then I got 3 dreadnoughts, all las cannon, flame gauntlets. So, and they're all venerable as well. So hopefully that'll make a difference. But that's 1,995 points of Salamanders.
All right, everyone, here is the battlefield that we are playing on today. We are playing Death and Zeal from the Nockmund Grand Tournament mission pack. So this mission has a deployment zone of 2 opposite table quarters. And there's a 9-inch bubble from the middle, and there's a total of 5 objectives. So there's 1 deployment zone here, as you can see mapped out by the dice, little circle there, and then vice versa on the other side. And then quickly talk about the terrain if you're not familiar with Basement Wargame, if it's your first time tuning in. These act as ruins. We only count the footprint as straight down for those. This piece is just solid obscuring. Often we pull that piece out and it's just a standard Mechanicum. Then in the center here, these are just true line of sight, nothing to them, so no area terrain. Monsters and stuff can just walk on the flat there just because it's an awkward piece, but looks great in the middle. Then these pieces are just obscuring, not breachable. And the same goes for this, just a solid obscuring block. And then the back here is just true line of sight, where it's not quite to the 5 inches, like 4.5. So we're just counting as that, but realistically not a ton of stuff there. It's just more for aesthetic purposes. And that's it for the terrain. So quick shout out to our patrons as always. So thank you so much for the support. Continue to grow the channel, improve the look of everything. We've got these awesome objective markers as well from 3D6 Wargaming. They're amazing. You can get some by clicking the link in the video description below. Get your own basement wargaming or custom objectives as well. So our patrons, Brian and Teos, thank you so much. And Brian is at the Patron level. There is a Patronic dice that we both have available. So there is 2 dice, one for each of us, that will be rolled and captured on camera at a pivotal moment in the game. So we'll see if the Patronic power has supported or aided the Tyranids, or supported or gone against them, I should say, depending on who rolls what. And that is it. So we're going to jump into deployment here. Talking about secondaries very quickly, though. I went with Stranglehold, Investigate Signals. I'm really trying to switch it up here. Been playing a very similar style with Tyranids for so long that a lot of the objectives previously were often the same over and over. So I just want to try out some new things, especially where we had the ability to do some cool objectives. And then I went with Assassinate as well. So I'm just going to throw bodies in the middle. This is the fun list that I've really always kind of wanted to run with the old book, but it's just not, the tools weren't quite there. And with the new book, I think we can pull it off. It's going to be a grind for the middle because the Salamanders went with Oaths, Bring Them Down, and Stranglehold as well. So going to be a big battle here. It is hold 1, hold 2 for the primary objective, as well as, I can't remember the name of it, but the other portion of the primary objective is if you take an objective, you get some victory points there, or if you kill an enemy unit on an objective, as well as if you have OBSEC, you can land on an objective and leave. But if you don't have OBSEC, you got to stay on the objective. So that's it. So we're going to roll off now, find out who gets to deploy where, and then we'll come back after that. So green dice are back home after the GT for a 3 to a 1. So we get to pick where we're going here, and then we'll come back after we have deployed. Folks, so I chose this side over here for deployment. So taking a look at it, I get everything on the table. Got my biowars in the back, good range to everything. So with us going for the middle, there's gonna be tons of spore mines. They can semi-move block if placed right, but the big annoying thing with them is that they blow up at the end of the phase. So he can come close to them, but if he does, they'll blow up, and if not, that's movement lost. So gonna be fun for me with them. The Tyranid effects would rupture over here. Gargoyles, Death Leaper hanging out in the terrain there, so opposing him are some lads in there, but we'll see them in a moment. Then in the middle here, we've got the Zonethropes, Neurothrope right here as well. Neurothrope, 3 Zonethropes. All of the gaunts not touching the terrain or anything like that, because then in the middle, we have Mama Turv right there, so hanging front and center, but can't be targeted with all my boys in the back. And then we got the 3 Venom Thropes strung out, so that way everything is getting the -1 to hit. Pretty much, except for these guys over here, but they're out of line of sight, so no problem. Warriors hanging out here. They got flesh hooks. Can't remember if I mentioned that. So I went full aggro with these guys. If I get first turn, I may pop the Tervigon Imperative or use Hive Nexus. Get these guys rolling because I think it is going to be like a 5 or 4 inch charge against these guys if I move. So that's my deployment, but right into the Salamanders in this side. We've got some Infiltrators making use of the forward deployment, grabbing some objectives, being OBSEC, they can grab that and tactically retreat if needed, depending what's coming their way. Some Assault Intercessors front and center, the Dreadnought, Eradicators, 10-man Intercessor squad there, another Intercessor squad, Combat squad with 5 of them there, and then the other 5, I believe, around the other side here, over 5 there. Did they Combat squad? Or?
No, they went full 10.
Oh, they went full 10, and then that was just unit 5 then. Oh, okay. So yeah, 10 and 5. And then we've got the Eliminators, Aggressors, Captain, Librarian. Where is he?
He's right.
Who's the? No, the Lieutenant. That's what I'm thinking of. It's like there's another character there. Lieutenant in there. No, he's on this side. There he is.
I just got the same.
Yeah, they both got the same pose with the sword up. And then we got Devastators there. 2 Dreads, the other Dread on the other side, and then more Infiltrators. So I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm hoping for a nice close one, and it should be really interesting with all of us going right into the middle. So I'm very excited about this. First turn for the Tyranids, it's going to see incredible positioning. I should be able to do some decent damage, but it's the fact I'll be able to take an absurd amount of ground. And obviously the Salamanders would rather get positioned than have me do that first. So let's find out who's going first. Should be a great match. So here we go. A 6. So Tyranids, first turn. So we'll jump into that and come back after Tyranids, turn 1 movement. Movement is done. So the Bivores hanging. They're just going to be lobbing spore mines all game. May actually move them up towards the objective, but not later on. They'll do that because these guys are staying here because Mama's right by the middle, still within 6, and they're just going to hang there and let this Tervigon be invincible. And then the Tyranid moving forward to get a shot on the first Dreadnought there. Harpy move out into the middle. We'll take a look at that in a second. Death Leaper came over this way, ready to make a charge in there. I rolled a bad advance roll. Didn't get enough of these guys on to steal the objective, so I have to kill at least one of them. We both have, I think, 5. Yep, we both have 5 models on the objective. I think, yeah, he's got all his guys' toes on there. So they're all in. Over this way, these guys move forward. Synaptic link-wise, I went with the Zonethrop one. I want to be defensive right off the rip. Maybe should have used the Tervigon one because I could have got these guys forward a little bit. Now, I could buff them with the Tervigon one and then use it next turn to like move, but they're going to be already where they are. They need a 6 on the dice. It's a 7-inch charge to come forward and get around there with engagement range. Spawn my 10 Termagants into the middle from Mama here. So they all flooded onto the objective. Zonethrope's got a solid advance roll. I had to CP it. However, line of sight wise, they can smite into the Vindicare, and they've also been tendrilled from the Neurothrope as well as... sorry, I can't remember the buff, but I used Synaptic Tendrils to do it twice on those two in there. And then the Venom Thropes moved, formed a nice triangle to get -1 hit for everything right in this area. And that's it for movement. Oh, and the Spore Mines I dropped are right here, and Bivores going to be dropping a ton more right in the center. So coming for the middle, it's going to be tough. So this is a place I want. It's a meat grinder in the middle. He's got tons of flamers. I feel very good now, but I think things are going to get hit pretty hard. And if I don't kill that Vindicare, my Neurothrope is going to die. Maybe. But we'll come back after Psychic. So we're early into our game. We're already on to Subtronic Power. So Brian, we're going to see if you can help me out here, my friend. So the Zonethrop smited and got the Super Smite, no problem. Well, after a reroll, they got it. I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1 for the damage. All I needed was a 2 or higher to kill that guy. But then we got the Neurothrope Neuroparasiting in because he can see the Dreadnought. There's literally right there at the Zonethrope was the only spot I could see that would allow him to be the target. Everywhere else could see a gap there. So it went off, no problem. But on a 5 or a 6, oops, I'm going to trust the Wrath Reach dice. We also have a random Yu-Gi-Oh dice here from my kids' present they got. So that'll be the other one. So I'm going to trust Wrath Reach here. Don't let me down. So here we go, Patronic Power. I need a 5 or a 6, and that Assassin is gone, and I gain myself 3 points. Oh, Wrath Reach. Love it. So there you go. You can actually buy some of these dice from them, so check them out. All right, so we'll continue on. So shooting and psychic all done up. So with that assassin gone, we got ourselves 3 points on the board. Shooting actually went over very well. Transhuman almost saved the Eradicators, but I took them out just to a mana, getting 3 wounds through with the Exocrine. Also learning as well, because so many new things here, that the Synaptic Link from the Warriors has to be within 24 inches, and I got Hive Nexus off on him. No matter where I went there, it wouldn't have changed anything, because 24 inches I think was right about there, and the Warriors had to be in the way there to move forward. Harpy killed 2 of these guys in there, so actually rolling some good saves coming through, and then the Dreadnought on this side just got obliterated by the Rupture Cannon. And the Dreadnought on the other side dropping down to 2 wounds from combined fire, or just the Warriors popping shots in there, and then these guys got peppered by some gaunts and the Tervigon, and took some smite damage as well. The Psychic Face. But that's it. So we're going into a charge now. These guys need a 6 on the dice to come in around there. So I'm just gonna roll that up here. We're gonna see. So I'm gonna roll it live. So big charge. If I make this is a big deal. If not, that's really good for the Salamander. And it's a CP. Oh, so we'll double check that because that is close. So we'll just measure that out and come right back. Because I'm pretty sure it was a 6, but we're going to double check because that is... Double check, it was just 6 that I need to get. So they do make it. However, I'm going to roll Death Leaper just because we're here. I need a 3-inch. So a 3-inch charge. Double 1s though. And his guys are laughing over there. And my Gargoyles advanced so they can't charge. No, so Death Leaper is in fighting. So we'll come back after the end of the turn and see how it looks. All right, so Warriors came in. There's one guy left there. Really with my hit roll. But we have taken the objective. So scoring Stranglehold, holding 4 objectives. Death Leaper, I wouldn't say handedly, but cleared off them to a man. And then the Gargoyles in circle just because I can slip them around. As well as the guys in the middle here. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about the action. I'm so excited about everything. That's okay. So I'm 100% like they did a wound there, but I'm just sticking to it. I should have done the action with them. So yeah, drop the ball kind of there because everything would be going very according to plan. So much going on, and that's the thing too. I'm finding, like we were talking about, there's so much bookkeeping now between like the links and everything going on that like I put them there, and then like I was thinking about the links and stuff, and then like all the other buffs and everything. So yeah, so just one thing to keep in mind. Again, new book, so all good. Still a very good turn either way, so no complaints or anything like that. Then these guys stuck, pass morale, as well as that guy sticking too. But we are getting Stranglehold, did take the Vindicator out, so all in all, a solid turn. We're going to move into the Salamanders, turn 1, and see if they can clap back here and clear out the middle and start doing some damage. All right, so movement is done. These boys came forward. The dude in the corner in the cave, so he's very hard to see. So there's a guy, you can kind of see his shadow right in there. So there's just enough room that he can move an inch away from these warriors. So he's lurking in back there. If the warriors are confused where the guy went, but he's tactically doing that so all the boys over here can fire. So we got the Dreadnought, the Melta style guys firing in at them, or they will be firing in. Salt Intercessors moving forward. The Spore Mines proving to be a bit of an annoyance here, so not wanting to get within 3 with this weak squad of those, but these guys had to come forward, take advantage of the movement, and 3 bombs went off. Thankfully for him, I rolled pretty bad for that, so only killing 1 guy. Then the Dreadnought moving out towards here, getting some shots ready to hopefully cripple my poor Tyrannofex over here, and also the all of the Devastator squad staying still can see his big old gun there. And that's it for movement. So we're going to come back, see how they can do on the return fire. All right, everyone. So shooting phase is done. So a bit of damage coming through. Killed a total of 3 warriors between some fire from these guys, Dreadnought, and the Eliminators over this way. Then these guys were in range of 1 warrior, so they fired in. He would have actually killed 3 of them, but I rolled absurdly good on my Catalyst, getting 6 5+s of the 9 dice I had to roll. Then over this way, they double fired into the Zone Tropes. Got a crazy amount of wounds again, but just going off on my 4-up invols, so dropping this guy down to 3. So realistically, should have almost killed 2 of them, but rolling very good. However, a misplay on my part again. So I recently played a GT, going back to the old rules and jumping to the new rules. So a little bit of oversight here, not thinking ahead far enough. So I was definitely punished for it. So I didn't have any synapse around this guy. So I didn't get my invul save for the Zoanthrope. And I had to spend a CP to make him the 1 to 3 transit instead of the 1 to 2. But again, I have to be in synaptic link range. So the other thing to that, we both he asked me what I would have done differently. So keeping the Neurothrope back, but then I was like, oh no, I needed the Neurothrope forward to take care of the assassin. But Neuroparasite is also synaptic link, so I could have chained. So big misplay on my part. However, he's still alive. He's going to get hopefully some vengeance here. He's sitting on 5s now, but I still trust him. But he is down to 1 wound. So the Harpy also dropping down to 3 wounds from Bolter Fire from the Stormbolter at him. But that's it. So we got some charges coming out, and also all the Spore Mines cleared out. There was actually 2 guys in total died from that unit. I mixed up my rolls. So here we go. Some charges coming in. These guys are coming forward, I believe. And then I assume the Intercessor's probably going to come in at the gaunts as well. So we'll come back after that. Is done in the middle here. So absolutely just churning up my gaunts. Engage the Zoanthrope. So I'm going to stay there, do some psychic powers. But I can't move now. Well, I can, but I'm not going to give up my psychic powers so easily. But Tervigon ready to come in there and hopefully make some use of the Mawclaws. But he does hold the middle now, and with me being a silly guy forgetting my investigate signals, yeah, can't do that, so really sad I messed that up. But all in all, I still think the positioning favors the Tyranids, but tons of damage done to them, and repositioning, taking lots of ground here for the Salamander. So all in all, I still think it was a solid set of everything. So let's move into Tyranids turn 2 and see if I can not mess up my placement. All right, so movement done for the Tyranids. So getting all 3 from my primaries, as I still held this objective down here. I mean, Death Leaper was there, but I controlled it from the Gargoyles, who came back down to essentially where they were. So spent the CP really for nothing. But again, over this way, I was hoping to take this guy out, which would have gave me a bit more freedom to come down and kind of roadblock a little bit more over this way. But it was not to be. And then in here, Tervigon's coming forward to get the Mawclaws in action. These guys got Tendrilled, and Death Leaper advanced over this way, so looking to make a charge and take out the Librarian, do some character hunting. I need an onslaught to go off from these lads right here, though. All my gaunts started pouring through in the middle, leaving 2 back on the objective. The Biovore just staying in the back, and the Tyranofex that I messed up on is over this way. The Tyranid Prime's Link is in play for this round, and that's it. Well, and the Harpy came by, dropped Spore Mines on these guys, dropping 1 down to 1 mortal. And with his double bank, came over this way to do some heavy Venom cannon firing. So that's it. We're going to move into shooting, or psychic. Right, so psychic and shooting done. Cleared off these guys with the extra crime. The double exploding 6s is huge. Got a crazy number of hits there. Also roll all 6s. These guys as well survived the Harpy's onslaught, with 1 guy remaining. Over this way, the Lieutenant was taken out by combined fire of the Tervigon, and then the Biovores lobbing mines in. Then in here, these guys finished off the lone guy, then put the Deathspitter shots, doing a whole bunch of wounds there, so very poor on save rolls. And then the Prime actually finished off the Dreadnought, so right down to the last wound, got very lucky there on my damage roll. And then cleared off the 2 Assault Intercessors in there and did, I think, 1 wound-ish to the other guys. So now we're going to charges. We've got Death Leaper going for the Librarian. So I'm going to roll it here. We're going to see if Death Leaper can make it in. Let's find out. 10. Yes.
Easy.
He's in. But the captain also can heroic intervene into me if he wants. So he's going to think about that. I think he's going to. And then the Tervigon is in. He's heavy because he's metal. He is in. So then we got the Tervigon, him, and then the Warriors as well. I could fail this, so 1 last roll coming up for you here. Okay. All right, so they're in. All right, we'll come back. End of the turn. The Tervigon just mauled those guys up. Death Leaper took out the Librarian, and then the Captain fought on. He's alive with 1 wound, so we're safe. Death Leaper can do some damage because he does get to fight first. And then over this way, the Warriors took them out. So that is it. So Tyranids closing in here on the second turn. There's still some units that can be chopped up a bit, but I think with the middle presence here, this section is going to be the drawback. But the Tyranofex definitely going to fall next turn. These guys likely to get cooked up. But that's it. We'll move it into turn 2 Salamanders. Folks, so that's the end of the Salamander turn. We're just going to call it here. So quickly recapping what happened. Death Leaper was taken out. The Captain was dropped down to 3 wounds. The Dreadnought over here killing the Gargs down to 1 body. However, the Tyranofex was taken out by the Dreadnought. And that's pretty much it. So one thing, too, you probably noticed, I really messed up the Tervigon positioning with this and how the rule works. I was thinking it was like the Carnifex one, like the Alpha Beast. So as long as they were within range of these guys, they'd be protected. However, that is certainly not the case. So I'm sure some people notice that. Again, coming from the new book, back into the old book for a tournament, back to this new one. A little foggy on stuff, I know. In the end, though, it wouldn't have changed anything. Even with him being able to be targeted turn 1, everything that he targeted wouldn't have been changed. So we did talk it through. It wouldn't have affected anything major. And everything that did get shot would have been shot anyway. Because, again, clearing that objective, he had to do it. Even if he killed that, there still would have been a bunch of OPSEC bodies on there. Yeah, so, again, thankfully, it didn't change anything because I hate when little mistakes like that affect the big outcome of the game. But in the end, it simply meant that these guys would have been in front. And actually, there would have been way more bodies in the middle there. So in the end, it could have been maybe worse. But all said and done, the Tyranids, the second turn, pushing to the middle, the list performed how I'd hoped. We were talking about what the other plays for on the Salamander side. I think getting the Flamestorm guys in action earlier, just putting, even with the mines, they're just accepting a couple mortals and then just dumping some flame shots, either at the Tervigon or at the Zonethrope to clear them away, because their smites really ruined the day in there. It was a lot of mortal wounds on the second volley, a smite coming through. Yeah, I think, and then also too, unfortunately, forgot the armor, or the cherub on these guys, because they could have fired again and potentially finished off the Tyranofex earlier, because being in Devastator Doctrine. But on a whole, I think it was just, again, taking this middle and It was just, it was a lot of damage coming through. And I don't know, what do you think? I'm still, forward deploy, I find is a tough one. Like, I don't know,
It
like
doesn't work
it's...
so great against Tyranids. It's just too juicy.
Yeah, like that target there. And like, it was a decent charge to have to make, but even still, getting in there early and then getting the warriors in.
Push them as far back into the corner as I could.
Yeah, because I think maybe the play would have been having them forward deploy but back. That way on your turn you can grab the objective and then control it just on the edge. I think that's would have been... And then over there it was kind of a risk-reward thing, because if he got first turn, they could have popped up. They would have been in 12 with Death Leaper. Could have did some damage to him, maybe, or did something. But again, I think for this mission where it's a sticky objective, I would have maybe set them back and then...
Never thought of that.
But if you had first turn though, I mean, you would have been in the driver's seat, because then you would have had that. Then they could move back. So and then you would have had the objective. So a little bit of a risk and reward there. So yeah, outside of the Tervigon mess up, that was the only error there. But thankfully, like we said, didn't impact the game. However, the other error was entirely my fault in positioning the Tyranid effect. So that's something to fix up moving forward, of course. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed that. Loads more new Nids to come. I'm going to try out all kinds of different lists. I think this will be my last for Leviathan for a bit. Going to explore Kraken and potentially Behemoth. I think the next list will be focusing on Crusher Stampede and way less shooting, and I think I'll go more of just a melee style and see what happens. Or not Crusher, I always say Stampede, so Old One Eye Stampede is what I meant to say. Not actual Crusher Stampede, but Old One Eye stomping down. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you in the next video.